a good time to do a what I eat in a day, although it was a pretty random day because I rarely ever go out to eat. But this is typically how I eat. I usually don't eat breakfast. Sometimes I'll eat brunch, you know, a little before lunchtime, or sometimes I'll just wait till lunchtime. And I thought this would be a good idea because I don't eat the way I used to, like really low carb. Things have changed a lot, and yeah, I've been eating more carbs. So I ate all those tortilla chips. Well, not all those. I shared them with my husband and son. And then a big grilled piece of chicken. It was like a bourbon lime, and a big salad as well. I ate like 3/4 of the salad, so some carbs there, but afterwards I did eat a few pieces of candy, like those little now and laters. And that's it, like treats, dessert. That's where I used to only eat carbs. I would only allow carbs from the sweets because I knew I would want something sweet, usually after lunch and dinner. But I've tried to be better about this, and actually it's helped. I mean, I've sort of just like transitioned into allowing carbs in mealtime, eating less treats, and I think I feel better overall by doing this. I've never been someone who can track and count, nor do I want to. I feel like I'm not like a big advocate for intuitive eating, but I feel like we should be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, we should be able, if you're an omnivore, if you're eating from all food groups, you should be able to do that as long as you're filling up on, you know, nutrient-dense foods. I would say if you're a carnivore or even keto, you know, I think that these areas could cause for concern if you're not tracking things, if you're not paying very close attention, at least some of the time. You know, every once in a while, track things and look at everything you're getting and make sure you're getting everything you need. And if you're like vegan, you need to be tracking probably all of the time. Maybe not every day, but you need to be making sure you're getting all your supplements and, you know, using Chronometer, because even then, you know, we see a lot of ex-vegans who were doing this and become deficient in all sorts of areas. So it's a lot easier than you would think. Oh, I am jogging behind this beautiful baby with the curly blonde hair. Oliver! What, yucky? He thought he saw some poopy on the street there. This is a soybean crop. I can't see the sun is in my eyes, but it is a huge crop. It goes all the way down this road. And oh boy, I'm not going to get into the crop death situation, but I was talking about this the other day. If you're one person and you think that you can eat, well, I think they say it's like half an acre per one person, which is probably bullshit, but let's just say that's correct. About half an acre, which is all this, at least right here. And that's for the whole year. That's rounded up. Every season, you have to kill at least a few bunnies, a few chipmunks, maybe a fawn, you know, a few little animals every time crops rounded up. And that's a few times a year. So you have to acknowledge that's at least 6 lives a year. At least. That's a completely ridiculously low number I just gave. But you know how vegans don't want to acknowledge this. They don't. And I'm not talking about the mice, the rodents, the insects. I'm talking about the cute little fuzzy animals, the ones that you would chastise omnivores for eating. If you can acknowledge you're killing at least a few of those to eat your food, you know, I don't know what else to say. Like, how do you not comprehend that the amount of lives you're killing is equivalent or more than someone who is eating 6 large animals a year, which, by the way, one person wouldn't need 6 cows a year. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Just made me think of this when I saw the field here. Yeah, I don't usually go jogging. It's been a long day, and I didn't eat like I typically do, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about because I was going to show what I eat today. I've always just ate how I feel like I should be able to do that naturally and be at a normal weight, and that always has been the case mostly for me. But the times I have wanted to lose a few pounds here or there, it's always the treats that have been my issue. Like, I'll eat pretty well at mealtime, and then afterwards I could end up probably eating 1,000 calories just in desserts and treats every day. So it's like, as long as I don't do that, I can easily lose weight. Oliver! Yucky poo-poo. There's not poo-poo over there. Don't go into the creek. Water. We don't have any, well, you don't have any shoes on. You were supposed to be sitting. So, what house? That's a barn. Can you say barn? Big one? It's a big one, house. So for dinner, I thought I would make some jalapeno poppers because I made that cheese the other night or the other day, and yeah. Why not add on some more cheese to my day? I already ate cheese, right? Yeah, so I picked a bunch of jalapeno peppers out of the garden, and I don't know why they're doing this, splitting up the sides like this, so if anyone knows, let me know. I mean, I probably could look it up, but yeah, I would get a couple like this, but now it's like the whole plant. And I used to think jalapeno peppers were green, and just green, period. I didn't realize people just picked them green, and if you leave them, they'll turn red. So yeah, dinner was, I guess, about what I would eat for lunch. 2 eggs. That's not even a whole piece of fish. I wasn't that hungry. So salmon and some hot jalapeno peppers with my cheese that I made, and I mixed a little cream cheese with it because I didn't like how dry it was, and half a piece of toast. And a big glass of milk, which is not shown here. And oh my goodness, for all the milk drinkers out there, what is it about? Well, I know what it is about milk, but when you're very, very hungry, and whether you have a meal with you or not, if you drink milk, there's something so satisfying immediately about milk. I guess because it just has everything right there in one place, It's like you can get immediate satiation, or at least you can be held over until you do eat. And I just want to add, if you're buying milk out of the grocery store, I would try to go for like the ones that cost a few more dollars, the smaller forms, because these huge conglomerates like Walmart, this is from Walmart, they bought out all of these farms, and then this is how they can sell milk for so cheap like this. It's kind of upsetting to see, because you know what they're doing. They are only able to do this by killing the little guys, and which, you're going to get more nutrition out of the milk from these smaller farms anyway, because they're putting more into the cows. And speaking of, I don't know if it's the milk or if it's just that I've been eating eggs every day, because I used to not eat eggs every day. I would eat like a typical lunch or leftovers from the night before, and then I'd make dinner. And if you've seen any of the foods that I cook and eat, it varies. There's so many different things. That's why one day of eating cannot really paint a good picture. You'd have to see multiple of what someone's eating. So yeah, I've had loads of energy lately. I kept wondering if this was, I knew it wasn't anything to do with the carbs, because I had increased those, long ago, months and months ago. And it would fluctuate. Like if I would go really low carb, I would definitely feel a drop in energy when I would try to be active or try to do a workout or something. But the difference, like in totality of the day, like just getting through the day, didn't feel that significant. So I don't think it was that, because I've had days where I'm eating lots of carbs and just feel like crap. But yeah, something lately that I've been doing is really increasing my energy, and I'm just going to keep eating the eggs every day and drinking my milk. And it may be that this milk is more nutrient dense because it's a new cow or a new mother. This is her first time having a baby. She's very young, and yeah, that may be it. There may be a difference there. And yes, vegans, the mom gets to remain with the baby. They separate her a couple times a week to milk her. This is very possible on a small farm. You don't have to rip them apart at birth and do all of these things. Even though, granted, farms do have to do this, and that's what it is. You always hear vegans or just people that are dairy-free talking about how, 65% of people are lactose intolerant and we don't need another species of milk and da-da-da. Oh, goodness. Like, the thing is about this, breast milk, if we just talk about human breast milk, the composition is very similar to another mammal's milk. And, people get hung up on these different arguments. Like, lactose is just a sugar. That's all. It's just a sugar. So if you don't have the enzymes to digest it, then you'll be lactose intolerant. Some people are more inclined to be this way, some people not. It doesn't make the composition of the milk less nutritious, less valuable. It still has a beautiful composition, a full spectrum of nutrients, and that means you could live on that alone. I mean, you would still be missing like heme iron, but you could live on milk and not die. If you were in some sort of survival situation, that would get you through better than any plant. This isn't really about being right or wrong. It's just a fact. If you pick from a dozen plants to bring on a desert island or milk, your best option would be milk. If you can have endless amounts of milk, say over whatever, different types of plants you want to bring, milk would be the better option because it would give you everything you need. So, yeah, I don't know why it irritates me. And again, I'm getting off track. But again, just at the park, we saw a little boy, Ollie's age, a little baby with the little bowed legs because he's starting to put weight on his legs now that he's walking. And the bones are soft. They're too soft. They're not hard enough because he's not getting whatever it is he needs, vitamin D, these fat-soluble nutrients that only come from certain animal foods. And no, they're not abundant in a sad diet. Vegans talk about how, typical omnivores have this issue or that issue. Yeah, they're eating mostly plants, and the animal foods they are eating are chicken nuggets and McDonald's burgers or, whatever their mom makes for dinner every once in a while with a little bit of meat in it. So, this is the soybean field that we were running through or by, and I put Ollie next to it just to show for length or, measurements how tall these soybeans are, and they're more thick and lush than you would think. This is a dying field. There's thicker ones. So all sorts of animals, as you can imagine, would go in here and live and, lay and then when the tractor comes, a lot of them will run away. They will hear it and run away, but the babies don't. The babies that are in their nests, like the baby rabbits and even a baby deer, a fawn, will not run away. They will not. They will get chopped up into bits. So yeah, that's at least 6 small animals, maybe 1 deer here and there, every season. And last but not least, I've got to tell you what I ate after dinner. And I didn't take a picture, but it was like a little small bowl of Cheerios. I put a tablespoon of peanut butter in with it and a little butter, melted that together. A spoonful of honey and some little toffee bits and chocolate chips. And then I ate that as sort of like a little Chex Mix with some cereal. Well, I guess you can call that cereal. It's like coated, And I used to do this with Chex Mix too as a dessert. I'm not sure, look, my diet is not something, I'm not saying this is the best way to go about your day or the best way to eat. I know there are some things I can include or cut out. the point is trying to fill up on the nutrient dense, the healthy foods. And then elsewhere, like 10% of the diet should be the foods that you don't really count on for your nutrients, right? So, yeah, I'm going to wrap this up before it gets way too long, and that's what I ate. Y'all have a good day.